Hey everybody and welcome back. I am Titan9 and today we're going to begin a series on the ST5 Iron Bloom starter deck. The full list just dropped today, so I was very excited to start taking a crack at it. I'm on Wingtable here. The developer will at some point put ST05 here, but I was able to just recreate it myself to get these videos out to you quickly. I've been excited about purple. It reminds me a lot of black in Magic the Gathering, where you have some short-term gain at the expense of giving yourself a lot of power. There's also some graveyard recursion synergies that I'm excited to try. If you have seen one of these videos before, they're all going to have this opening, so feel free to skip ahead. In the description, you can click on the timestamp to go to the actual gameplay, or you can, in the timeline itself of the player, you can kind of see where the different quote-unquote chapters are. You can skip ahead there too. Feel free, you won't hurt my feelings. I don't want to waste your time. I just want to help inform you on how to play for your starter events that are coming up. Now, I believe it's going to be just ST5 decks beating against each other the whole time. Doesn't sound the most exciting. We will definitely be exploring the mirror match, because that's going to be very important, obviously. But first, I wanted to see how the Iron Bloom stacks up against the other four decks. It'll be a good way to kind of learn how the deck operates in a vacuum and see how the cards all coordinate together. So we're going to do a video with the first two against the first two starter decks, then against the second two starter decks, then a couple matches against the mirror to prepare yourself. So stay tuned for that over the next week and a half or so to get you ready in time for your ST5 event. This deck leans more aggressive, it looks like, but when the full GD2 comes out, it seems like there'll be a lot more opportunities for maybe like a purple blue or purple white controlling kind of shell. That has me excited. But for now, we're going to take a look at this deck here. The deck is an aggressive deck that uses self-ping to make itself even more aggressive. Along those lines, we have the CGS Mobile Worker. You choose one of your units, and you deal 1 damage to it, and it'll get +1 AP. We have to rest the unit, so you can't do it multiple times, and it's only main phase, so you can't pull out a combat trick. But that's one of our enablers. The pilot Mikazuki is one of our enablers. You choose when you pair it, so it doesn't have to be linked, just paired. You choose one of your units and an enemy unit, and you do a damage to both of them. So you have some pinging, but you also get to enable your effects here. And Iron and Blood, another one where you choose a unit and you deal damage to it, but it will gain +3 AP during this turn. And this is an action, so you can use this as a fun combat trick. Those are the main enablers of your deck. Your cards that care about that, the LR, or one of the LRs of the set, obviously. The Barbatos 4th form, when it's damaged, it gains suppression, and it's already a 4/5. When you deploy it, you deal a damage to another unit, so that's another enabler, and it will only get +1 AP during the turn, though. So, again, that short-term gain for a better attack. But the rest of it's very good. The suppression I like as a mechanic, too, because as best I can tell, it seems to happen to both players. Like, suppression now is just this global effect. So you, the aggro deck, are going after your opponent's shields very quickly, but if your opponent is able to surprise pivot and out aggro you've now made it easier for them to do that. I really like that tug of war kind of the effect. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Let's see, the other Barbatos 2nd form, that one cares about it. It has a +2 AP when it's damaged. Well, I guess you put the Mikazuki on it, and you've dealt damage to something else too, and you get to attack with it. And you still have 1 resource left over. Maybe you can hold up an unforeseen incident. That's back in the deck. It'll have different art than this, but I'm glad they're putting more of these out in the ecosystem. The card's just good in general. And that seems to be like why the white stuff is in here. You have your GMs in both colors, white and purple. Each of the faction gets a GM. But like the white stuff, like this Graze Commander type has blocker. It's a Zawart that can attack, but you have to wait a turn to play it. The other LR, McGillis's Schwalbe Graze, it has blocker 2. It's not the most exciting blocker, as it's only a 4/2. When you pair it, though, you can give another unit -2 AP if it's level 3 or lower, so you can try to get some favorable trades with your bigger purple units that way. Magillus Farid, sort of Amuro at home. If you've got Galahorn or Tekkadan units in play, 2 of them, which is all the deck is composed of with its units, you can rest a unit with 3 or less HP. So, like, your white stuff is basically allowing your purple stuff to get attacks through, get good trades in, or protecting them on the crackback because you've been doing damage to yourself, so they are more vulnerable. And your blockers, your couple of blockers that are in here, and your unforeseen incident can keep them alive. Fatal Strike is our first just flat-out destroy card, our kill card. It's only level 3 or lower, and if you burst it, you only get to deal a damage to an enemy unit, but this card has me interested. It's not broken bonkers, but you can kill a Zwart with this. You can kill all the new low-cost blockers that are coming out in SD2. You can kill a Lefrith. So you can get some smaller stuff out of the way and attack with your rush units, or I'm sorry, your units that you played on the first couple turns of the game. That's pretty cool. Akihiko is some good graveyard recursion, right? So we're doing damage to our units to make them powerful. They're more apt to die. But if we can link our Akihiro, we can get a level 2 or lower one from our trash to our hand, which we've got 7 of these GMs. We got 4 mobile workers if we want to enable that. That seems to be it. So, not the most exciting units to bring back, but there are 11 of them, and that's just value, right? If we're just trying to go wide, like a problem with rush decks, we kind of run out of units. Akihiko is sort of like a draw in that way, but we get to pick what we're getting. Just needs a little setup first. We have our Isaribi. This rewards us for having damaged units. We get plus 2 AP for resting it. So that'll be nice, and it's a 0-5 base, and we can play a turn earlier than... No, that's not true. There are plenty of level 3 bases. I'm confusing myself here. Let's see. Oh, this Gyujin Rabaki, that also lets us tap a unit. It has to have 4 or less AP, but that can get rid of some early blockers, too. And I think we've got I've got a purple Razel. That's another reason why I'm excited about purple. I love Razel. I'm sure I'm going to love it in purple, too, especially since... there seems to be an aggro bent to at least the deck, but the Tekkadan purple stuff seems to be aggressive. The Vulture stuff seems to be kind of graveyardy focused. But as we see with Akihiko, there seems to be a little bleed in both of them. So a lot of stuff to like in the deck, and I'm coming into this deck blind here too, so I'm probably going to make some mistakes, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Alright, without further ado, we've begun match 1. We're going up against ST1 Heroic Beginnings. That's the Amuro Suleta starter deck. One of the better decks in the starter release, but they were all pretty good. Now, in my mind, this deck is an aggressive deck, and most of our units cost 3. I'm sorry. They are level 4. We have 1 level 3, and this Iron and Blood we can't do anything with for a long time. I think this is too slow. The other deck can get up to a fast start. It also has a fair amount of blockers, so... and we're on the play, so we're not getting to these big units anytime soon. We know there are a million little dudes in the deck, so I think it's safe to mulligan here. Let's lean into the deck's game plan, huh? Alright, we got one of the GMs, the purple one. Oh, we got 2 of them. Sweet. Okay, we'll get to play 2 of those next turn. Then we can play a Graze command type. We don't get any... maybe we'll get some benefit out of this Iron and Blood, but I think this is probably better to hold on to unless we need to damage a unit to gain an effect of its own, like on the card it gives itself an effect, or if we want to bust a base. I guess we would technically be busting a base next turn, but there's just these other cards in our hand, like this Barbatos 4th form, and even the Barbatos 2nd form, they get a lot of value. They've put they should have, the Hayato should have just killed my 2/2, but I guess they want to be the aggressive deck, so I can kind of get that a little bit. They annoyingly are winning the race here. We do have a blocker, though, coming up. The Hayato doesn't do anything. It's just a 2/4, which we can handle with our Hyakuren. Maybe we hold back and try to do like a really big turn coming up. What are they going to play with 3 resources? They're not going to rush us. The problem is the blocker can't kill this annoying gun tank. We could theoretically with Iron and Blood it. That just doesn't feel like a super sexy use of it. I would rather wait. I could trade my Graze custom into this GM. I'm not going to do damage to this base. I don't want to take the controlling role, but this 2/4 is really annoying. A human player isn't likely to do this. The computer finds this to be a technical move. It's only thinking one turn ahead. And by doing this, like, I'm in this really awkward position right now. It'd be great if I had that kill card and I just take out their 2 units with 1. I actually don't think I could play it this turn anyway, because that's a level 4 card, if I remember correctly. But yeah, that 1 extra toughness really does throw a big kink in my plans. I can't even use this blocker effectively, I should say. So I think I gotta like play off curve the whole time too. That's sort of annoying, but that is just the way it goes sometimes. I guess theoretically I could play Barbatos and the blocker next turn. I don't need to ping it right away anyway. Okay, so I guess we won't be that bad off. We are going to play the Purple Razel. I am gonna kill that GM. Do I want to risk taking 2 hits? Because I'm going to have to kill that GM at some point anyway. Alright, we'll send the white Gallarhorn GM into the blue regular GM. And we'll just chill here. We're probably going to have to do a lot of trading in the mirror matches, I'm imagining. We'll let you have that one. Hey, unforeseen incident. Just in time. Okay. We'll pass here. They don't have anything to play on turn 3. We don't have a blocker to worry about, so our Purple Razel, the Yakurin, that'll just go right in there. We don't need to play Iron and Blood. We could rush out this McGillis Schwab's, but I guess we could have used this on that attack. It would have gotten -2. Yeah, we should have paid it. We got tunnel vision there. We had the plan to do it, and the McGillis completely changed all that. That being said, having this 4, it'll become a 6/3. This isn't a great blocker. Unless it's like an aggressive blocker. It's rewarding you for being aggressive with it, because we could have attacked with this into that unit and taken no damage. That's interesting. So I guess it does, even though it's a blocker-heavy deck, or not blocker, it's not heavy on blockers, but even though it's an aggressive deck that has blockers, those blockers still have an aggressive slant to them. I find that interesting. But I'd rather have this 3/2 blocker out to protect it on a following turn. I think keeping a 6-cost thing down to kill one of their Amuros, their linked Gundams, or their linked Suletas units, I think that'll be more useful. So let's play our Barbatos second form. Let's play this Graze Commander type, the 3/2 blocker. And we can both rush the McGillis and his Schwab and Iron and Blood next turn. They did have the Amuro to rest our blocker, but we only have to do 3 to it, and that's not going to be hard for us to do. We did get that kill spell. That's not going to help us today. If we attack with the McGillis, Schwab, Graze, we're just going to trade, which is a little frustrating, right? Because it will only have the 3 toughness, so we still trade, even giving it the -2. Not exciting. So let's go. So I think we're actually going to hold off on that. Maybe not. We know we're going to finish off that Gundam. 2 cards for 2 cards. I can live with that. Maybe I'm like being too precious with this Iron and Blood, but it's the only way to damage this Gundam Barbatos 4th form. But there are so many cards we could draw where we could do cool stuff like that. Do I want to turn my Barbatos second form into a Razel? For the sake of doing it, just feels like overkill to hit this little EX base. Maybe I do want a McGillis. Just to be efficient and do aggro things. Is that greedy? It might be, but right, we're learning the deck out. Let's try to stress test it. We can't use either of those effects. Very sad. We're not going to use that effect. We can hold up this action if they want to try to get a good trade on us, and we can sort of sneak attack them that way. It's any unit. It doesn't have to be a Tekkadan one. Great. I'm attacking with the purple GM, the Graze Custom first, because if we did flip a base, I would then use the with Iron and Blood on the Barbatos, and then we could definitely take it out. And this is a more attractive unit to do that to anyway, so wanted to have that in the back pocket. Let's pass. And they didn't get any bursts anyway, and we still have 1 up to hold up the Iron and Blood. The good news is if we draw the Mikazuki and we want to rush out our Gundam Barbatos 4th form, we can do that, but and hold up Iron and Blood, but we're actually going to have to use it now because they did Suletta rush out a Gundam Aerial bit on form. Now, we can use this Iron and Blood and trade with them. It's 2 cards for 2 cards, but this 6 HP unit was going to be a big pain in our butt, so we're happy to get that off the field. Okay, and we've killed them. We have our own base here. No reason not to play it now, because it might get us a Mikazuki and we could still attack with it. We didn't get that. We have this Gyujin. Oh, it's on destroyed, not deploy. I misread that because it's got a big giant sample over it. Okay, that takes some planning around, but at least it's a 3-4, and it can even rush, which is pretty nice. That's a good link unit for our Akihiko. I guess I should have taken a look and see how many units Akihiko can even link with, because it might not be enough. Okay, so let's play that. And we might as well do the aggro thing and swing at these bases. If they rush us again, that'll take half the cards out of their hand after they draw, and they'll only be able to kill 1 unit with it. The other 2 units will be able to go and attack them. Doesn't look like they're going to be... So it looks like we've got them here. Even if one of them is a base, we ended up drawing another blocker anyway. Let's attack with the GM first. Good, good, good. All looking good. Attack with our 3-4. And we've got him. McGillis finish off the day. And they had an unforeseen incident, which they could have held up. But I guess they wanted to play the 2 units to try to trade, but they were just dead on board if they do that. At least the unforeseen incident keeps them alive for a turn, and they might find the Amuro to draw a card off of this. Wasn't the best showing of our deck. We didn't get a lot of those synergy pieces. We just kind of had to raw dog a lot of things. But, you know, small sample size, right? It's just 1 game. Let's see how the next one goes. Alright, we are playing this time against the Wings of Advance deck, SD2. That's just the pure Gundam Wing deck. Another of the better decks in the ST format. It was a bit tricky to play, but if you could find the lines, you could come back from any situation. I really enjoyed playing with that deck. Very rewarding if you can leverage your skill. We go second, but still, I don't love this hand. But I guess it's not terrible. Turn 1, we don't do anything, but turn 2, we play the Hyakuren. Turn 3, we can play Barbatos and the Graze Commander type to have a blocker. And Isaribi or any of our other draws could kind of change that timeline. Rizal on turn 2 is pretty good. If we find 2 2/2s, those aren't destroying the base until turn 3 anyway, and the Hyakuren survives all the blockers pretty well. If we were going first, I would mulligan this hand, but since we're going second, we'll keep it. Alright, nothing this turn. And then it'll be great because we'll have a blocker up to protect our Rizal, our purple Rizal. So I like that. We could actually play 2 blockers next turn. If we wanted to be extra careful, they, unlike the Heroic Beginnings deck, don't have anything that can... Oh, they have the Siege Ploy. That's the thing that can rest it. There was no advantage to them doing that, though. The AI sometimes has trouble with the commands, but it penalizes itself when it makes a mistake like that, so it's slowly learning over time. Alright, we're going to try to take out that EX base. They will block, yep. But our thing lives, as I said it would, which is why it was better than this Graze command type, and better than those 2/2s, like they would have been stonewalled by this wall of blockers. I'm not going to play the Barbatos this turn. I guess the Grazes can rush too, but we don't even have a way to deal damage to this Barbatos. We've drawn 3 of our bases, which isn't exciting. Although I suppose we could just play Barbatos and the we could play a blocker and the Isaribi. It's unlikely they have their second siege ploy. And if they do, then they needed that and the Ares to kill off the Hyakuren, and we killed off the other Ares, so we've taken 3 cards with their 1, so that's at least a positive trade for us. And we get these Isaribis out of our hands, and turn it into a better card and a better base that we can actually use on the Hyakuren if it survives another turn. Okay. Putting the base down, then we get to keep that EX resource and do whatever we want with it. So we can rush, we drew the Mikazuki off of that, we can rush this Barbatos second form, we can ping it to get that damage we want for it, and now we have a 6-3, no, a 6-4 still, because Mikazuki has +1 toughness. Okay, yeah, finding that Mikazuki was very cool. We like to have suppression go off, we like to show that to you. Okay, so yeah, we'll just let it kill this thing, because our blocker would just die otherwise, and we take out 2 cards of theirs right there, and like I said, we got the Ares, so we really got 3 cards out of the deal. That's pretty sweet. We found our purple GM, the Graze custom. I'm not super excited to trade this Graze into this Ares, so I don't think I will do that. What I think I will do is play this Barbatos, is play this Mikazuki, deal 1 damage to itself. Deal 1 damage to the Ares. Oh, I forgot I was going to deal damage to the Ares. Still getting used to the deck, folks. It's my second game with it. Alright, that means good. Our Graze can go and get rid of the EX base. Our Barbatos can go and hit a shield. Sadly, no suppression. Oh, it's a base. That's annoying. They put a card on the bottom, so we like that. And do I want to put up another blocker and use that EX resource? Yeah, because on 5 we can still play a lot of things next turn. The one thing we couldn't do is play the Barbatos LR, but we can't rush it anyway, so there's not like a hurry in doing that. Alright, we will play another blocker, try to protect our big 6-5 unit here, which is now a 6-4 unit. Yep, are they gonna... Nope, no Peaceful Timber, so they're not rushing anything. They put the Zex on. They put the Zex on both of these units that it won't get any value off of. It just wants to make some big dudes. Interesting. Okay, and our blockers can't stop one of them. Doesn't seem like there was a good reason to put the Zex on the Magwanac. I don't know what the other 2 cards are in their hand. If it's a Siege Ploy, then I guess it would be okay. Because then the Sandrock could kill a Graze Commander type, and the Magwanac could trade off with the Barbatos second form, and that's a positive trade for them. They'll still have their Sandrock up, because in that scenario they've Siege Ployed the Graze Commander. But they already use one, right? They use one for no reason, so it's unlikely they have the other one. Alright, well, we definitely know we gotta finish off this base, so let's do that. Bye-bye, base. Well, we could play out another blocker, actually. I'm not going to get to rush it, but that's not a big deal. Yeah, we'll play out the blocker, play out the Graze custom, which is the purple GM, and we'll play out the Graze. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, it is the Graze custom. And then the regular Graze, which is the Gallarhorn 2/2 GM. Okay, and we got a full board here. This is what you want to do as an aggro deck. We're going to get to block with one of the Graze commander types to trade with there. We're going to get to block because we played that McGillis' Schwalbe. We're going to get to block there with our very fragile unit, so we got good value out of that. And we still have one blocker up if they want to kind of rush us down. Okay, we have no Akihiko here. I could try to be greedy and play another Isiribi in hopes of finding something better. There's not an advantage to pumping up my Gundam Barbatos further, because it's going to kill any base already anyway. Graze custom into shields. Let's at least figure out what... Okay, they have another base, so we do have to attack with our Barbatos to clear that out before attacking with the vanilla Graze. Okay, there is the other siege ploy in the base, is in the shields. It got to tap our blocker. They only have one shield left anyway, though. So it's not the end of the world. None of their units without a pilot can directly kill our Barbatos, so that's pretty sweet. We are going to play the Isaribi, just find useful cards. We got an unforeseen incident. I'm a fan of that, so that'll definitely help us if they do have any pilots and they want to trade with our Barbatos. I just want to keep the Barbatos alive in case there's a shield. I'm sorry, in case there's a base in the shield or they play a base. I just want to be able to take that out. They are doing a negative trade with our blocker. I am unsure why they want to do that. I'm sorry, because it itself is a 3/4. It was being covered and I misread it. You can indeed have our base. They should have traded that into one of our 2/2s. Yes, the computer has mistaken itself as the aggro player here, and they definitely are not, especially with our Barbatos alive. And we're going to take them down pretty easy. Pass. What should we kill them? What should kill them, huh? One of our GMs? Well, the Gundam Fusion didn't really get to do anything, so we'll let that one attack. Okay, just another base in hand. So we still haven't gotten to see the suppression play off, but we see that the deck, this time we did get to draw a little bit of our synergy pieces. Yeah, really just the one. Like, these Isaribis didn't get to actually put in any work because we do too many of them. But we did still get to do the go wide thing. Like, even if you don't find the synergy pieces, you do have enough of these little units where you can do just the aggressive play. The purple stuff helps you get bigger while you're being aggressive, which is what sort of hurts the blue-green aggro decks now in the constructed meta. Is, they flood with a lot of 2/2s and 3/2s, but like then your opponents get like big blockers, 2/4s. They get 6/6 linked units and stuff like that, and we have a harder time trading. But the Mikazuki and some of that purple package that allows you to now go higher while you're still being aggressive with your low-cost units. So very exciting deck. Thanks for watching this first video in here. We're going to play against the other 2 starter decks next video, and we should be a little more fine-tuned with the mechanics when we get there. But thanks for watching, and have a good week.